Hi, I'm Lisa Garr, and welcome to The Aware Show, a weekly show that brings you transformational tools and techniques that you can actually use today to inspire your positive growth and change in yourself and in others. Every single week, I will bring you new, cutting-edge information that will help you improve the quality of your life in any way you choose. Do you want incredible health, connected relationships, flourishing finances, cutting-edge science? Whatever it is, consider The Aware Show to be your trusted place for lifelong learning, because for over a decade, I have built trusting relationships with my guests and with my audiences. And if you're just new to The Aware Show, or if you've been a fan for a long time, I always encourage you to listen to your own truth and to stay aware. Let's talk about change. And today we're going to talk about changing your body. So how much does it mean to you to be able to shave off and to release a couple of pounds? If you get started on it, then you can actually roll that into losing 2 pounds becomes losing 5, becomes losing 7 to 10. It becomes fun. It becomes a fun change challenge. So here's a great simple tip on how to do that. If you stop eating after 8 o'clock at night. Now, the reason to do this is because if you make a conscious choice to stop eating after 8 o'clock at night, then it eliminates all of the late night snacking, the carbs, and the sugars that your body's going to start craving at those hours. Because if you eat some sugar, you're going to crave more sugar, then you're going to crave salt, and it's all carbohydrate related, and you don't want to do that to yourself before you go to bed. And also, so what you want to do is replace it with water. Once you start to get hungry and you stop eating after 8 and your last meal and everything is completed at 8 o'clock, complete your night with drinking water. Or you can have some decaf tea. Just have something that is very bland, very neutral, but don't go for the carbs and the sugars. And give yourself a nice cleanse between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. And if you can do that, that gives your body a break for 12 hours to reset itself. And when you go through these little mini fasting breaks, your body does several things. It spikes your metabolism, it releases human growth hormone, which is fabulous. It allows you to get melatonin releases, so it gives you a much more restful sleep as well. So there's so many benefits of just taking that break from 8 to 8. And then, if you're brave, you can move it up to 7 p.m. and go from 7 to 7, whatever works for your body, 7 to 7, 6 to 6, however that works for your body. Just give yourself a good 12 hours of a break so that your energy can go back into repairing your body rather than digesting your food. Just a quick tip for how to change your diet and lifestyle. Hello, welcome to The Aware Show. I am Lisa Garr, and I'm so happy that you joined us today, because I have the most amazingly beautiful soul joining us today, Joe Vitale. He was one of the featured visionary teachers of The Secret, that wonderful movie. If you haven't seen that, check that out. And he has brought us, I don't know, probably 60, 70 other book titles on abundance, marketing, a wonderful prayer of Ho'oponopono. He's done amazing jobs just really teaching us what it means to attract abundance, or if whatever that means to you. It could mean wealth, it could mean family, it could mean time, it could mean freedom. All of that is what Joe has taught me for so many years. So welcome, Joe Vitale. Thanks for joining me.
Of course. Anytime you want me here, I'm there. So thank you.
I so appreciate that, you, by the way, always being a yes. Thank you for that.
Of course. You're doing great work in the world. You're getting the message out there and you're helping lots of people. If I get to have a part in that, of course I want to be there.
That's what we're doing. We're working on it. So tell me about this phrase you told me once. You never worry about money.
Right. Right. You want to just jump there. Yeah, the phrase is actually, you never, ever, ever have to worry about money. Okay. You never, ever, ever have to worry about money. Now, you have to sit with that for a minute, because I know what it's like to struggle. You know, I was homeless decades ago. I was in poverty a long time ago. And if somebody said I didn't have to worry about money, I might have been abusive. I might have hit them. I might have yelled at them. It's like, of course I need money and I'm worried about money.
It's
But,
painful. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but the fact is, worry doesn't help. Worry doesn't help. Worry doesn't bring any more money. Worry doesn't bring you any peace. Worry doesn't solve the equation. Worry doesn't help you sleep at night. Worry actually, from the law of attraction standpoint, brings in more of what you're already concerned about.
Mm.
You're sending out an energy of worry, which means the universe, if you will, is going to bring back what it thinks you want, more to worry about. But if you just look at it psychologically, the whole idea of worrying about money or worrying about anything doesn't help the problem. So you never have to worry about money again.
Is there a difference between worry and focus, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question, because focus is in the alignment of something good. You're focusing on what you want. You're focusing on what you want to create. You're focusing on what you want to attract. There isn't any of the baggage or negative energy or desperation on focus. Worry, however, is a very heavy feeling. Worry has desperation in it. Worry has fear in it. Worry has all of these emotions that will actually lower your ability to create what you want and close off your ability to see your options to create what you want. But if you focus on what you want, which is a different energy, you will start to go in the direction of what you're focusing on. So let's leave worry out of this and let's go with focus. What would you like to have is the question.
So, okay, so I've done this and I think about all the different projects that I'm working on. And then this is where I get stuck, is that pause of allowing the projects to come to fruition. It's a very interesting, because you're in this momentum and you got this kind of fervor and passion and obsession about getting something to happen. And then when it doesn't happen right away, it's the pause that it actually comes in. What is that? Can we talk about that pause? That stillness?
Well, the way you just described the pause sounded like it's full of fear. Meaning it's full of the doubt. It's full of the idea that, what if this doesn't work out? What if it isn't going to come to me? What if this doesn't actually come into being? What if I don't manifest it? What if it bombs? What if it fails? What if my dream doesn't come true? That's what's in the pause that you just described. But in the pause that I would describe is that the universe is moving all the chess pieces around on the planet to make it happen. And instead of coming from fear, I have to come from faith. And this is something that most people wrestle with, because again, back in my homeless and struggle days, I was mostly in fear. I wasn't in faith. But what I've had to look at is that both fear and faith deal with your attitude towards the future. Fear is coming from the aspect that it's not going to work out and you're probably going to bomb and you'll be embarrassed and ashamed and you'll be a failure and all of that. But faith, which is still having to come from the same place of the unknown, faith says, no, I believe in myself. I believe in my dream. I believe in my process. And I believe this is all working out to my highest good. And that there's a divine timing. And when the timing all clicks into place, there it shall be. You asked me right before we began doing this about the TV show I filmed. I have 14 episodes, all filmed, all shot, all edited, an entire Joe Vitale television show.
Wow.
But Amazon has had it for months. And so I'm in the pause. I'm in that pause because a part of me could say, what if they don't buy it? What if they don't air it? What if they don't like it? But instead of coming from the fear, I'm coming from the faith of there is a perfect time for it. And I do know that some of the other shows that they filmed right before mine are just now going on air.
Oh, nice.
So I'm probably next in line. I don't know that. But instead of coming from fear, I'm going to come from faith. And I'm going to say it's working out for my own good. And the timing has to be exactly right. Timing isn't today. Might be tomorrow. So do you understand what I'm saying? It's a change of perception.
Do you do anything different in order for that to come through? I mean, are you visualizing it? Are you meditating about it? Are you praying about it? Or are you just letting it be?
I am letting it be until those moments of doubt still surface.
Oh.
I am still human. The human brain always is operating and it's still bubbling up different thoughts. Most of which these days are far better than the critical ones I used to have. But every now and then there'll be a thought that comes up and, hey, what's going on with my TV show? What's going on with my latest book? What's going on with my music? There have been delays with that. And then there might be a little bit of doubt that'll seep in. Well, I have a bag of tricks. You know, I have The Secret Prayer, which is a book I wrote, and it's something that I talk about. And it's really about being grateful for what you have now while making a request to the universe to speed things along a little bit, and also taking whatever action is necessary out of that moment.
Can you talk about that 1 second, that prayer, because that is a beautiful, beautiful prayer.
Yeah. Well, The Secret Prayer is something that I had been practicing secretly on my own, but I realized that more and more people were interested in it. And I knew that more and more people, while they were interested in prayer, either were skeptical about prayer or didn't know how to pray.
Right.
And the vast majority of people, we all know this, are praying from a begging standpoint. They're saying, please give me, give me, give me, give me, please give me, please heal this, please do this, please give me my TV show, please blah, blah, blah. And that's the wrong place to be. In The Secret Prayer, I say there's 3 steps to it. And the very first step is gratitude. We don't ask for anything. In that first step, we express our genuine thankfulness for what we already have. Mm-hmm. And for most of us, even though we might want more, and we always want more, it's the nature of the mind, what we have is plenty. And where most people are living right now is like a king and queen of ancient times. We have air conditioning, we have a roof over our head, we have refrigerators. We take these things for granted. Mm-hmm. And then there's the benefit that life itself is giving us air and keeping us alive and our hearts pumping and all these things we don't give thanks for, we don't think about, and we take it for granted. So the very first step of The Secret Prayer is we pause and we say thank you. For something, anything. It could be the water, it could be this show, it could be the telephone, it could be anything. But we want to move into the spirit of gratitude. From there, the second step is to make what I call a detached request. Detached request means you're not addicted to working out in a certain way. In other words, and we'll use my example again, my TV show is on hold someplace in the universe. And so what I might say is, please have Amazon buy the show from me now, or give me something better. Because I might be thinking, oh, Amazon's the one who needs to air the show, but maybe it isn't Amazon. Maybe it's Netflix. Maybe it's an up-and-coming new channel someplace. I don't know. So we have to remember that our ego thinks things need to work out a certain way, but spirit knows there's all kinds of possibilities that could be better for you if we allow them. So the second step is what I call detached request. And the third step is what I call inspired action. And that means if you feel inspired, in my case, maybe I would feel inspired to call up Amazon and say, who's in charge of the TV department? And I don't feel that way, but if I did, I would have to make the call. Because my job is to make inspired action. Those are the 3 steps of The Secret Prayer, but it really focuses on gratitude for what you have now, because this is the miracle. This is the miracle everybody is seeking, but they don't realize it.
You know what? That actually answers my question of that pregnant pause, that stillness. In that moment of stillness, to say thank you, and I ask for this or something better, and then go into action about something. And that actually is something really nice to do in the stillness.
Yes.
That's really nice to do that. Is that what the Awakening course is about? Exploring that time?
The Awakening course is about the map of consciousness. I say there's 4 stages of awakening. Most people are born into and stuck in the first phase, and that's victimhood. Most people, they're still working for a company or a person or somebody they don't like, and they have the complaining and the water cooler gossiping and so forth, and just stay, and they're a victim. And it's everybody else's fault. It's the world's fault, the government's fault, president's fault. It's everybody else's fault. They are a victim. If they're lucky, maybe they see this show, maybe they see the movie The Secret, they read one of my books or somebody else's, and they move into the second stage, which is empowerment. Empowerment is when you suddenly realize you can actually create and mold and manifest things you want in your life. It is a thrilling place to be. And it's the second stage of this awareness course, if you will, the Awakening course. But there's another stage, the third one, that's surrender. And surrender doesn't mean giving up, but surrender means that you actually join forces with what I call a higher power. I sometimes call it the great something. And some people will call the great something God or the universe or all that is or Gaia or nature. But it's the realization that you are not in charge of the planet. Maybe a God, but you are not the God. And what you want to do is join forces with the great something. That's the third stage, but there's still a fourth stage. And the awakening course goes into all of it. The fourth stage is actually awakening. You're awakening to the synthesis that you are actually the great something, living out your life as the great something and creating your life so you can experience what the great something wants to experience through you. And I know that sounds really deep and over the top, but that's what the awakening course is about. It has techniques, tips, processes to take people from victimhood all the way through that empowerment, surrender, and then awakening.
That's a beautiful way of how to get from where you are to where you want to be, and where you are from where you want to be. And there's a formula to it. I mean, if anything Joe Vitale has done is he has figured out formulas for things, because you kind of glossed over this a little bit at the beginning of the show. You at one point had lost everything. Right.
Yeah.
And so you're not a stranger to the mindset of, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything. Yeah, that was there in your life.
Yeah, and that's why I can relate to so many people. And I just remind them, because they can look at me and they go, oh yeah, you're rich, you're successful, you got cars, you got guitars, you're doing this, you're doing all of that. And they just think that I was born into that. And it was not that way at all. In fact, my childhood was unhappy. I don't even like to think about it or talk about it. I'm still making peace with it. And then being homelessness, for anybody that's been there or got near it, that collapses your self-esteem, it collapses your self-worth, and you have to rebuild it. But I know you can, and I think that's my big message to people today. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be homeless. You could be about to lose your home. You could be unemployed. It doesn't matter, because from where you are, you can rebuild and manifest what you would truly love to have in your life. And I use my life story as evidence of it. But of course, I'm not the only one. There's people all over the planet who have started in worse off places and created magnificent lives. So I tell people that current reality is simply current reality. It will change. It's going to change on its own, because life is momentum and it is constantly regurgling itself. But what we want to do at the same time is direct it and create what we want to do, what we want.
So, wow. I mean, what a powerful story. And you can actually check out the Awakening course. There's a link right there below, and you can click on that link and you can find out what the Awakening course is all about. It takes you through those steps that Joe Vitale just talked about. Then you said, as seen on TV. What, it was seen on TV?
Oh yeah, geez, I even forgot about that. Oh, that might have been 7 years ago. I had a TV show. I think it's even still on YouTube. If people typed in that, they might find it. But I had a TV show where I had guests and we talked about the Awakening course, and I held up the product and all that kind of stuff. Wow. I forgot all about it. I do so many things I can't keep up.
What drives you, Joe? What does that? What is
passion,
it?
Passion. I get excited about something and I can't wait to chew on it. I can't wait to develop it. I can't wait to create it. It's that little boy in me that suddenly goes, wow, wouldn't it be cool if I wrote a new book and I got this idea for it? Or I have a new album coming out. It's called The Great Something. And I had a songwriting lesson with Melissa Etheridge in Calabasas, by the way. That's what I was doing. And I dedicated the whole album to her, and it's in production right now. And I'm excited. I can't wait to finish this. I can't wait to share this. It's passion. And I think it's true for everybody. You have passion. You got these projects. This project is passionate for you.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's so amazing. They call you Mr. Fire, but and I can see why. But you are, I think you're Mr. Action. I mean, you do what you have and you just put it into place, and you don't look at the barriers. You look at the end. What is that? What is that piece of you?
Yeah, and that's a great question, because this is really important for everybody to hear. What's different is the beliefs that would stop me from taking action, I found and deleted. This is really important, because what I've said, if you have a dream, you're going to go ahead and take action for it unless you have limiting beliefs about it, about yourself, doubts, fears, concerns, and everybody does. Everybody actually does. If I decided that I'm going to climb Mount Everest, and I've never gone rock climbing anywhere, I would have fears. I would have doubts. But I know that if I actually look for my fears, face them, dismantle them, erase them, remove them, then I'm going up the mountain. And it's the same thing. I recreated myself as a musician about 6 years ago. And when I held up my hand and said, I want to record my own music and go in the studio and all that.
I remember that.
The fears, they were there. I think anytime you go for something you've not done before, you're going to have fears. The difference is most people stop and they don't finish the action. That's why they're not taking action. But when you take care of the concerns and the beliefs and any one of the processes that are in my course, in my books, things that you know and teach, then you accelerate your results. The album that I'm doing right now, it's my 16th album.
How did you do that?
Yeah, I've worked with professional musicians that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They don't have that many albums, but I've been able to reduce the time it takes to create because I got rid of the beliefs that would take up the time to actually make something.
Huh. Wow. So that is, so you said you deleted them.
Yes.
You identify them and delete them. What do you do?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. There's a lot of processes, and a lot of them are in the Awakening course. But, you know, there's everything like you mentioned Ho'oponopono, which is the Hawaiian healing technique that's basically 4 phrases. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And you're saying them inside yourself as a kind of prayer, as a kind of petition or request to the divine. And you're saying, look, I got these beliefs that are stopping me from being a musician or writing my book or opening my business. I don't know what all the beliefs are, but I know they're in me. So the great something, please take care of this. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I do that a lot, virtually every day. I also am a fan of tapping, the emotional freedom technique. And I will do things like, I want to record music, but I'm afraid of people judging me. But I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. And I'll go through the whole tapping thing, which people can do some research and find.
Yes.
You know? And then I'm a fan of, the third thing I probably do is just simply questioning beliefs. I remember that I took a songwriting course years ago with Ray Wiley Hubbard, who's pretty famous in Texarkana and in Americana music. And he said he still had doubts that would surface when he tried to do some new kind of music. And what he learned to do was to ask the doubt, where's the proof that I can't do this? And I never forgot that. Ask the doubt, where's the proof that I can't do this? It'd be the same if I did say I want to climb Mount Everest, and a part of me would go, how? You can't do that. You've never done that. Where's the proof that I can't learn how?
Yeah. Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you one more question because you said something that hooked me. You said, I'm going to ask the great something. What's that? The great something.
Well, the great something. Wow. When I was with Melissa Etheridge, I was in her home and I was in her home studio. I told her I wanted to write a song about miracles. My new book is called The Miracle. There it is. It's called The Miracle. And I wanted to write a song to go with it. And she said, miracle is kind of overused. People will say that their car didn't start and then it started, and they'll say, oh, it was a miracle. And she said, well, not really. Your car didn't start, then it started. That's not a miracle. And then I told her, I said, well, I often refer to God and the universe as the great something, because it's something that is bigger than all of us. Each of us have some sense of what it is. But if I say God, everybody brings in baggage about what they think God is. Or if I said it's the universe, some people believe in a universe, some people don't believe in a universe. So for me, I sidestepped it and said the great something. And when I said the great something, Melissa's eyes got big and she said, oh, that's good. That's good. And I thought, okay, the great something's the name of my new album. I have a title track song called the great something. And that's what I'm referring to. It is this energy vortex that is encompassing all of us, that we are part of. We're in it. It is breathing through us, and yet it's all around us. It's the great something. It's the magical Wizard of Oz force that we all can tap into. The great something.
Do you remember the Great Pumpkin? Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin.
Of course. Right.
it was that force of just nature that the great pumpkin made it happen. And it was just great. That's the same thing. It's brought in miracles of
Yeah.
pumpkins or something.
But notice that there's a sense of playfulness with this now. And so we don't have all of the baggage that comes in that could actually limit our possibilities of creating life the way we want it. Now we're just thinking of, oh, the great pumpkin, oh, the great something. You know, it was anything. It's freeing.
True. So true. Well, these are the types of philosophies and playfulness and formulas that Joe Vitale has in the Awakening course. So check out the link below down there. You can read about the course. It's a really low price. I mean, you can change your life with something like this course. And it's like under $100. And you take the course. This is the beauty of bringing, personal development to YouTube, is you realize great people like Joe who have made it so easy to identify change. That's the whole point. Identify your barriers, delete them. I mean, this is just mindset stuff. And it's once you get enough practice at it, you start to identify it, and use it, and you find that it actually works. So thank you, Joe. You're just awesome.
Well,
So
thank
fun.
you. You're doing fantastic work. Godspeed to all your listeners and watchers. Anything I can do to support you in this journey, this adventure we're having together and with the great something, I'm here for you.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Joe. Such a beautiful pleasure to know you. All right. And check out the link below, the Awakening course, and just get started right away. Just go, grow. And until next time, I invite you to stay aware. What inspired me this week is a wonderful live event that I did. I hosted the 70th anniversary of the book, Paramahansa's book, Autobiography of a Yogi. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter what your beliefs are around this. It was a story of how one man made a difference and how one person can make a difference. 70 years ago, Paramahansa Yogananda made a decision in his life that he wanted to bring spirituality to the West, and he did it through the teachings of yoga. And in his example, he made a specific decision in his life, and through his teachings, every single thing that he did resonated towards that decision. And then he impacted the lives of very famous people like Elvis Presley and the Steve Jobs, and incredible change makers in our lives. But what he really did was, it was all about that deciding factor. Now, when you're making a decision in your life, there's a statistic that I learned from Tony Robbins, and he said that 95% of people who make New Year's resolutions forget them January 15th. We hold on to our New Year's resolutions for 15 days, but there's a reason. Because at the beginning of the year, we have this event that's talked widely about, and putting this New Year's resolution concept into the calendar, and then we forget about it. We don't have markers throughout the year of reminders of those New Year's resolutions. What about markers throughout your day? January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 30th, February, March, April, May, June. I mean, what about putting that resolution and that daily action plan into place for really creating a wonderful sense of being? And again, it has to do with making the big enough reason why you want that to happen. You've made those decisions in the past, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously. I made the decision to never eat wheat again about 7 years ago. And I remember that was because it was making me so sick to eat it. And I decided I was never going to get that sick again from this one thing. And I've never eaten it since, and I've never looked back, and I don't care. And it's great. So what is that one thing that you've decided to do in your life that you've never looked back on before, that you've decided to do and you said, I'm going to do this the rest of my life? Choose that energy, and you had a huge reason around that. You had a big why around that. Find out what that reason is and be the inspiration in your own life. Find out what you can do to inspire yourself to find your big enough reason to create that resolution every single day, just like Paramahansa Yogananda did when he decided to create a movement of bringing spirituality to the West. Change makers are all around us. You're most likely one of them. So just know that and engage in that and take action on that.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Aware Show. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will give you some of my favorite bonus gifts. So if you want to subscribe also to my newsletter, you can find the link in the description below. Thank you so much, and until next time, I invite you to stay aware.